Hello, everyone. We are live, and as everyone can see, the chat is very busy. We are literally just starting now. So, if everyone could please give a warm welcome to the one and only Dave Sinclair Cosplayer. Hello, everyone. We are live.
Hi everybody, how's all the tricks? How's it going? Thanks very much for the invite, mate.
That's absolutely fine, mate. I'm more than happy to have you on, genuinely. So, for everyone who doesn't know, Dave Sinclair Cosplayer, or Dave Sinclair, is the first Rogel Dawn cosplayer, I believe, ever, if I'm right in saying.
Yeah, I mean, when I chose to be a Warhammer 40k character, the Rogue Dawn model had just recently come out. I think it was about a month before, and I spoke to the phone wizard, John. Fantastic guy, John Davis, over in Wales, and I've been following him for quite a while. So, look, is there any chance you can make this? Because this looks amazing. And I showed him the picture, and he says, "Give me about half an hour, 40 minutes, and I'll get back to you." And then he did. He said, "I can make that," and the rest is history, as they speak. Don't think John realised how much work it was going to be. He's done a Sister of Mercy before, but not a Rogue Dawn, large Warhammer 40.
I was going to say, like, when he sort of saw the model, do you think he actually understood the actual scale of it, or do you think he was just like, "That looks cool, I'll make that"? Did you have to tell him the scale and then?
No, he done it. I left it to him. Absolutely. I've got no idea. I make stuff now out of the phone, but back then I certainly didn't. So it was just, John, you're the wizard.
He's literally the foam wizard, isn't he? He's the foam wizard on Facebook.
Amazing, yeah. So I had to go down all the way to Wales to get it fitted, scale size wise.
Got to get it fitted.
And then went back home, and then when it was ready for collection, went back down again and picked it up, and I was over the moon.
Oh God, I bet you were. I remember the first time you wore it. You were at your house, wasn't it? It was just at your house when you put it on. You took some pictures for the first time, I think.
No, the first official photographs were done by a friend of mine called Andy, and we went over to a cave, which is just down the road from us, to be honest.
That's the way.
That was with the Mark 1 arms, because I had small little T-Rex arms, as people have pointed out.
No, T-Rex arms are what people call them, yeah.
Gloves, which were paintball gloves, and then I upgraded them. And then I upgraded them again, so I've got big chunky cricket bat gloves. To be honest, is what they are. But I might still put some stuff over them to make them less cricket bat looking.
Yeah.
And then I made another set of chunkier arms, and then you've given me the template very nicely of the next set of arms that I'm going to be making.
Oh yeah.
To make it look even bigger and to scale. So come the next Warhammer Fest next year, hopefully,
you'll have another set of arms.
Yeah. That's what I've been working on.
Before we do continue, though, do you mind putting your phone off vibrate? Because I can hear the vibrate coming through the phone when you get a notification come through. If you could just turn the vibrate off, because it just came through my speakers now, like burp, and I was like, oh, better just. We have lost Rogel Dawn. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Q&A session with just me. Rogel Dawn has vanished, so this is kind of funny. I think Rogel Dawn will be back shortly, so I'm gonna stall tactics and just be like, I'll wait for Rogel Dawn to come back. Is it funny? Rogel Dawn is missing in action, and now he's missing from the chat. I think this is something we need to look at. There he is. He's back. Rogel Dawn is no longer missing in action. He is back.
Well, I had to get my phone to the settings to stop it from buzzing.
Right, anyway, we are back with Rogel Dawn. He's no longer missing in action, and he's here. One of the funniest questions I've had so far is, how's the hand? How's the hand?
The hand?
Yeah, because Rogel Dawn...
the
thing is, Rogel Dawn is missing in action. The only thing they found was his hand, and it's now just bone, and it's got loads of names carved into it. So it's only the hand of Rogel Dawn.
That wasn't my real hand. That was the stunt hand.
Oh, was that the stunt hand? Was it? Oh, there you go. So the chapter doesn't have Rogel Dawn's real hand. He still has his hand.
To be continued.
We were actually discussing this the other night in Rogue Trader. And did you put him in the iron cage again? Someone in the chat just said, "Did I put you in the iron cage again?" That's just, I love it. Yeah, what was I saying? We were in Rogue Trader the other night. We were having a chat about this, and they were just like, if Games Workshop just come out of the blue and just say like, "Oh no, Rogal Dawn's alive," I'm going to be so annoyed. He's been gone for so long. That they should just leave him missing in action. It's fine, and that's not because I'm an Iron Warrior. No. The law. But Magic Pain Glove, what should I do? The glove has spoken. Yeah, if anyone here has watched Emperor's text-to-speech device, they'll know that one, because the memes will flow, and it's going to be amazing. So right, anyway, let's get to the questions. I have Rogal Dawn questions here from Instagram and Facebook, and I also have my own set of questions here. So what I'll do is I'll probably jump back and forward. We'll jump back and forward between them all. So just want to start off by saying hello to everyone in chat. I hope you're all good. Welcome to everyone who's just joined. For those of you who don't know, this is Dave Sinclair Cosplayer. He has many cosplays, but the one I know him best as, and the one I know him mainly, I'd say, is Rogal Dawn from Warhammer 40k. We don't speak about the time you came to the Iron Warrior Cosplay Workshop and I painted up your chainsword. We won't speak of that. Because I'll get killed by my own legion. You helped him? No, I didn't.
The sword that's just there.
Yeah, it was like I just painted it. I technically battle damaged it a little bit as well, but still. Right. I'm going to start off with some of my questions, because they are some of the ones I actually really want to know about as well. So we'll start off with question 1. How long have you been cosplaying now? Because looking behind you, it looks like you've been going quite a while.
Actually, no, it's about 2 years and 3 months.
Oh, wow, you've got it down to the months. I wish I had mine down to the months. I wish I had mine down to the months. I mean, I don't know how long I've been. 10 years now, probably? It's probably 10 years now. Probably since I started. And that was way back when. But wow, you've got it down to the months. I like that. You've got it down to, like, the months. That's the best. So, another question that I've got for you is, you've been cosplaying what? You said 2 years, 3 months. Why do you cosplay? Like, what was it? What was the thing that got you... I know you've done a lot of photography stuff. I know you went around, you did some TOG stuff.
That's what it was. I mean, I've been doing cosplay photography for about 5 years.
Oh, wow. So you've been doing that a fair chunk then.
So I go to the Comic-Cons myself as a punter and take my camera and just take a load of photographs. So I have great enjoyment taking the photograph and then editing it and then making it look different from what the original photograph taken was. So composite photographs. And then a friend of mine called Adele, she said, "Oh, why don't you come to the Birmingham Comic Con and I'll introduce you to the UK Garrison and the 501st." So I knew some of them purely before from taking their photographs, but hadn't really spoken to them in any great detail. So the next thing you know, got introduced. I loved the camaraderie that was taking place, and I was able to watch it unfold in front of me, and I thought, these guys are having a great time. And it brought back memories of being in the forces. So I was in the army 24 years, made a career out of it, and that camaraderie was pretty much the same, so but in different costumes, of course. And I just thought, you know what, I'd love to be a part of this, and what costume would I go for? And that's when I decided that I wanted to pick a big stomping costume, and pick something that is different. So I had a quick search around on Facebook / Google for Rogal Dawn, couldn't find anything. Passed on this little model image to John, the wizard. He had a quick look and he said, "I don't think there's anybody out there doing Rogal Dawn." So we were both like, "Really?" So I had a quick search again, and sure enough, looks like I'm the first one and maybe still the only one. Not sure.
From what I know, and I think I wouldn't say I've got good authority on this, but the amount of cosplay pages I'm on, and the amount of pages I've seen, and the amount of photos, and the amount of cosplayers I've met and seen, and the amount of stuff I've seen online and stuff, I think I can confirm you're probably the only Rogal Dawn cosplayer. I genuinely, I know there's like 2 or 3 that I know of, like emperors of mankind, and there's also an empress of mankind. Julieta does an empress of mankind.
Yeah,
And they're,
amazing.
they're all full-size Space Marine cosplayers as the Emperor. I've seen that, but as for Rogel Dawn, like I've seen you as Rogel Dawn, but I've never seen like a Perturabo. I've never seen.
Yeah.
There's a lot I haven't seen, but then I can understand why people wouldn't do that. But I have just noticed something in the chat. Someone has actually found it. I changed one of the things you can redeem from me while you chat, and that's 250, and I will shout "Iron Within" every time someone does that. So I'm really hoping that doesn't get spammed. If that gets spammed, it's gonna kill me. So I'm testing that out. But I was wondering how long it would take for someone to find it. So well done, Ragnarok Man, for finding that. So well done. So you were in the forces. So what did you do in the forces?
Well, I joined up in 1978, sort of 10 days after I left school. I was 16. Looking at doing 3 years. Loved it so much, made a career out of it. Yeah, what did I do? Well, I joined up in the Royal Corps Transport. And then when options for change kicked in, when the Berlin Wall came down, regiments were being chopped and axed by the government, and then they amalgamated. They killed off 5 units overnight and then amalgamated them all into the RLC, or the really large corps. So that's what I then became a part of. So transport and logistics.
See, that's really cool. Like, to see you go from like that part of your life and to see you just go there, and now just I would say all of a sudden, but it has slowly progressed. You've gone from that to now walking around in a giant suit of foam to entertain people at conventions, like along with other costumes behind you and stuff. But obviously, as I said, I know you as Rogel Dawn more than anything. We've had our fair share of encounters, haven't we? Like when I see you at a convention, which is rare because I don't get to see you at many conventions. But there was. I think it was it London? Was it London I came up to you and we sort of blocked an entire crossway of alleyways by standing there. The pictures of that properly. I love the pictures of that. That makes me smile every time because it's just you and me stood next to each other. Like, I loved it. There was one. There's one of me pointing my bolt pistol at your face, and you're just looking at it like, "Do you dare shoot me?" It's brilliant.
It's such a shame that we Warhammer wasn't on this year, because that would have been really cool. But it gives us enough time to some of the guys, as you know, are making new costumes or altering them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We've got some new female members now, so it should look even better for next year.
Just wait until Warhammer Fest.
Of us lot getting changed and stuff. I mean, that's now on nearly 900,000 views.
Yeah, that video, that Warhammer Fest video is probably the best video that I've seen of Warhammer Fest, because wow. I mean, I've seen there's like 3 or 4 videos of like vlogs people have done. Hey, we're at Warhammer Fest, and then they put music over it, and then they film us walking out. But the one you have of every one of us coming out of the door to go out, we all got kitted up, and then we were all like, okay, ready, let's go, and then all of us went out down to the queue. That video you have of everyone coming out, that video is so good. Like, you see the spotters come out, and then you see the cosplayer. The spotter, then the cosplayer. It's amazing to see. I absolutely love that video. My mod, Ranger of Creek Cosplay, Harry is my guest mod today. If Harry wants to jump on YouTube super quick and grab the link to the Warhammer Fest video that Dave made, it's the top video. It's got so many views. You type in Warhammer Fest, and it's like the top video. It's the best. So if you wanna grab that and throw it up there, that would be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. So now, how can I don't know if you want to answer this, you can. If you don't, that's fine. But how old are you?
Ooh, how old do you reckon I am? Do you not know how old?
That's the thing. I think you're.
Let's ask the audience.
Do you know what? Let's ask the chat. Yeah, that way I can't feel bad about it.
And I'll look maybe slightly younger.
Desi, stop it. You need to be resting. Desi, rest. Naughty Desi. My guest mod is Ranger of Creek Cosplay is Harry. Desi needs to rest up. She's been very busy, so she needs to rest up for today. Now,
right, 10 seconds, people.
What do people say? What do people say that Dave's age is? If you have a look at Dave, this handsome man, how old do you think Dave is?
This would be interesting if anyone put 3.
Oh no! That's :3. It's like a face. It's like a cute face. So Dragonheart says 30.
30, brilliant. Like
30.
that.
Dave's a happy chappy. Or
Remember, I was in
26.
the army. I was in the army 24 years, so that probably 30 makes me very, very young joining
Oh,
that.
yeah. So how long were you
In
in the
fact,
army,
in
did you
fact, I
say?
gave it away. I gave how old I was and the year I joined up.
Yeah, you
So people
did. I'm not
think,
going to lie. I should have paid a bit more attention to the year you joined because you said you were 16.
26.
Hey, hold on. If he's 26, I'm 27.
My youngest daughter is 34.
maybe you're a Krieg boy, same as me. So
Well,
the
to take a
reason
bit
the reason I was asking was because one of the questions I've written down here on my sheet of questions is what do you see yourself doing in 10 years? Is cosplay something you see yourself doing in 10 years time, or do you think you would have
yeah,
just put it to
yeah.
bed then?
I'm put everyone out of their misery. I'm 58, 59 next January. So 60's not that far away. And
Honestly, I don't think that would be. I mean, I've seen cosplayers that
mm,
are. I think 74 is the oldest cosplayer I've met personally, and I've been like, "Wow, you're cosplaying at like 74!" Like, wow, probably 76 by now because that was a fair few years ago when I met that person. Now, so
well, there's a good friend of mine. His granddad does Stan Lee. I don't know if you've ever seen him walking around.
hold on, I need to calm down. Is he the one with the police uniform on, like the security guard uniform with the hat?
No, proper Stan Lee with the wig and the little moustache.
And the little moustache.
Just,
Because there's a guy I met at MCM who nothing was fake. It was his. He looked, honest to God, spitting image of Stan Lee. But what he did was he dressed up as Stan Lee in one of his cameos as a security guard.
yeah.
And he had Captain America's shield, and he was like, "Hey," and he had the American accent perfectly down, and he was like, "Hey, I'm looking for a guy who dropped this," and it's like, "You're the coolest!" Like, I love it, absolutely love it. Hello, everyone. Hello, we're getting some hellos in the chat.
Back to the original question, I can see me doing this. No problem at all.
Yeah, awesome. Because that would be cool to see you just go for it. Because I'm not planning on stopping until something stops me. That's my plan in life. Is I'm going to keep cosplaying until something stops me, and that's the only thing I can see happening for me. So if someone asks me what do they see me doing in 10 years, I'd be like, well, give me 20 years and I'll still be doing it. Like, I love it too much. It's too much fun. Like, modifying this, modifying that, getting this, getting that, making new cosplays. I can't wait. It's just going to be more amazing, if anything. And so if I had to ask you then, do you prefer to work alone or work with others if you can? Well, I'd say with that question, it's more, do you prefer to work by yourself or with others when it comes to cosplaying in general, or maybe even cosplay building to like stuff?
Cosplay building, me. I actually do it all in this room in my office. I work from home, so I run my own company, film company and photography company. It's all done from here. So I have a space on the floor which I sit on, and then I do all my cutting on my matting. It's all down here on the floor beside me. So it would be quite hard for more than one person to come into the small area that I've got. I mean, I've got Rogal Dawn's just there, and then I've got these mannequins behind me. I've got a zombie next door. I'm working on an orc costume at the moment for my wife, so the space is limited. So it'd be me on my own. Cosplaying wise, definitely, there's more fun to have if you go with other members. And with the UK Garrison and the 501st, there are plentiful. When we sign up to, one of the bigger attractions, Manchester or London or Birmingham, we have maybe up to 200 people getting changed and going out in patrols, and we have a great laugh. Wasp Predator behind me, fantastic costume, but a pain in the ass to wear. But when we all get into character, Predator mode, we just then become a predator in the way that, I don't talk. There's nothing worse than someone coming up and saying, "Can I have my photograph with you?" And then you go, "Yeah, all right, mate," in a predator costume. So you just,
I get the sort of same thing. I try to stay, because I haven't really got a character for the Iron Warrior. I just try to stay mute. Like, I just don't say anything. Normally, people, you'll find it. I don't know if you, because you're barefaced and you've got your Rogal Dawn mustache on, the Rogal Tash. You got the Rogal Tash on, and you've got such a friendly face, and people can just come up to you in your big gold suit, and they're just like, "Hi, can I have a photo?" Whereas the amount of people I've had come up to me, but they take one look at me, and then they look at Harry and go, "Can I have a photo with him?" Because they're too scared to ask. And the best one though is that's when Harry's got his mask like here or like hanging on him. When Harry's got his mask on, people just tend to come up and sheepishly be like, "Can I?" And they just show you the camera, and then Harry's just like doesn't even say anything, just waves them over, and they come over and they stand between us like look, just this, and it's amazing. But no, I think I can absolutely agree. Going out in a group, I think, is way better, or even a team, like 2 of you or 3. Any more than that, you're having a laugh. Like Warhammer Fest, for example, is the best. Like it's honestly the best thing. But I try not to say anything. I just don't, because I feel it adds to the menacingness of like an Iron Warrior that's been around for God knows how long. But you don't say anything. Need I remind you the last time we had a photo together? No, that's true. I mean, I do try to stay like quiet, but it is hard sometimes because when people are brave enough to come up right to your helmet and just go, "Are you okay in there?" You just have to either nod or go, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Yeah.
A voice changer would be cool. Don't get me wrong. Voice changer would be cool, but I think that would just be going a bit too much with the electronics, if I'm honest. I've got the Mega Stomp. I've got my robo noises. I'm happy with that. That's But honestly, you have how many costumes now?
6
of yours now. The ones that you wear yourself personally.
Yeah.
6 costumes.
Yeah, I'm making a Gears of War costume as well at the moment.
Oh wow! You're gonna need a bigger house.
Yeah. Got another room next door. I've got a man cave. In there.
You got your man cave. I like that.
You know, a very good friend of mine, Gary Wigg, said at the time when I bought. In fact, Predator was the first costume I actually wanted, and I didn't realise that there were builders over here in the UK that made them. They were all done over in America, and I sort of made some queries, and £4,000 was being mentioned. I just thought, right, well, that's out of the window, and that's when I decided to go for somebody UK based and Warhammer 40k, and John made it. But then, as Gary said, you won't stop at one. You'll continue. You'll get bored, and you'll have more than one costume. And I thought, why would I want another costume? And then I found out that Oaken, who made my Wasp Predator costume, lives half a mile from my house.
I remember you telling me that, and you were so shocked. You were just like, "What?"
So I went down and we agreed on a price. And again, me being me, I didn't want a regular Predator, P1 or brown, grey, just something different. And he said, "Well, I've done a Wasp Predator for somebody." And that's what I chose. So there are 2 Wasp Predators in the entire UK.
See, that's awesome. To know how many of you there are. I would say that I'm the only Iron Warrior in the UK, but I've seen one. Apparently, there's one in Scotland. There's apparently an Iron Warrior in Scotland, and I'm not 100%. I've only seen one picture. I got sent one picture being like, I was in a convention in Scotland today, and I saw this guy, and it's an Iron Warrior. But I've not seen anything else, just that one picture, so I'm not sure. I've tried to find him, so I can just be like, look, we're both Iron Warriors, but it's kind of hard to find.
There was an Iron Warrior at the Bristol Comic Con that I went to, but he wasn't on stilts. He was a small version. He trained it in his costume.
So there was another Iron Warrior. Are you sure it was an Iron Warrior? Well,
Yeah.
I need to find that.
Send it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, find me some pictures of that, because I'd love to see that. Because the more of us, the better. But I am being forced to make another costume. Oh no, forced is. I think you're being persuaded rather than forced, I'd say. So what I'll do is I'll move over now to some of the questions that we got from Instagram and Facebook. The first question from Instagram was, why Rogel Dawn?
Yeah, because he was different. I mean, he looked absolutely. When I saw the model, and I thought, yes, that is outstanding. Which made me then look at the other Primarchs, and Gilliman was my second choice, but I chose Rogel Dawn. As you now know, I was going to have Gilliman for this year's Warhammer Fest. Because I spoke to John last year, and I said, can we talk about another costume being made? I'd love to have Gilliman. But then, sadly, John, who's still struggling with his problems now, medical problems, he just said, no, I can't, and I don't think I'll be able to do it. So,
well, I'm glad he was honest with you when it came to the fact that he knew himself that he wasn't going to be able to do something that big, because he was far better when he did Rogel Dawn, wasn't he? He was.
Oh yeah.
But
unfortunately.
I really wish him like the best recovery because I know he's not been so well. I'm friends with him. I'm friends with him on Facebook. But it's just I hope he does get better. With Rogel Dawn as well. Sorry, Rowboat Girly Man. Did you want him on platforms as well, or were you going to do him sort of more human scale, or were you going to
it's all again? Yeah, definitely.
platforms again?
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, a lot of people ask me what have I got in my boots. They're actually blocks of wood that are drilled or sides, plywood sides. So it's not one big heavy duty block with wood through the entire block. It's screwed and glued, and they're about 19 inches, I think, tall. And then I've got some boots on top of those, which are all secured in. So yeah. So when you look at my Rogel Dawn boots, there are 3 red ruby jewels. My toes are immediately behind the center one.
There you go. Well, that's funny. You've just answered one of the questions that was asked on Instagram, which is, what do you have, stilts or platforms? So you've just answered that question without even needing to be asked it. So well done. I have another question for you from Instagram. What made you join the 501st?
There were two parts to this. Real Icons is a bolt-on to the 501st. So Real Icons is anything non-Star Wars related, but is, once you've seen it, you can identify that character from either a TV series, a book, a comic, or a film.
Because I know they've got Ghostbusters in the Real Icons, if I'm right. I've met a few at the tattoo cons that I go to.
Yeah. Well, my dream was to get into the Real Icons. So Rogel Dawn is a real icon, and Wasp Predator is a real icon.
That's
so
awesome.
It just means I can then go with the other real icons and go to the events. Is another thing that people ask sometimes is, oh, you have the fun and you get it all for free. We don't get it all for free. We get a entrance which is paid for by the people who run the event. So that's only what we get free. Everything else we pay for. So we pay for our own parking. There are small allocation of free parking, but they're gone so quickly, and I've never had one. So we pay for our full parking. That's £20 a day for the big events, and then also we have to pay for our own B&B.
Yeah, so it's basically like you get to go to the event and have fun, but you pay like a small.
Very early in the morning because we have to be there before the early bird people come in, so we can entertain the crowds. I'm just going to stop that from ringing.
That's all right.
So we have an obligation to be there first thing, and we have to stay there until last thing.
There you go.
But why do I do it? It's the camaraderie again. It's great. Just stop that again. And then the 501st. Why did I join the 501st? Well, Real Icons in my eyes is here. The 501st is here. I mean, that's the pinnacle of the whole UK garrison for me.
And then you'd have to stand up when it comes to the Warhammer related people. Like you'd have to go about this.
Well, my costume. I don't even see the patrol trooper behind me. Again, as I said earlier, I'm a little bit different. Wasp Predator instead of a standard Predator. I wanted not to be another Stormtrooper. We have lots of Stormtroopers, nothing wrong with them, but I just didn't want to be another Stormtrooper. So
yeah.
I had a look around, and a friend of mine.
Dave, your microphone has muted. I'm not sure why. There you go. You're back.
Sorry, my son-in-law is trying to catch me.
That's okay.
Bear with me 10 seconds, people. He's trying to ring again. So
okay,
bear
that's
with
all right. So what we'll do, give us 2 seconds and we will have Dave back. But what I'll do right now is I'll just chat to you guys in the chat. How the devil is everyone? There's the doggo! There's the doggo! Everyone look at the doggo! Everyone look, there he is. Bear is here.
Right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's literally the question I was just about to ask you. We had a question from Harry, I think, Ranger of Krieg. I'm trying to find it now. I'm not sure where it is. I can't go find it, but basically asking if your lovely doggo is with you.
Yeah.
Doggo.
This
There he is.
he's gone. That's
There we go. Top
Teddy.
quality. Top quality. Top quality Q and A. When
Possibly.
there's a dog, it's all fine. When there's a dog. There we go. It's we need to know if Teddy is with Dave. There we go. Everyone loves Teddy.
He's my office dog.
Good. Love Teddy. By the way, throughout the chat, by the way, when me and Dave are talking about his cosplays, there will be links going in. Thanks to Ranger of Creed Cosplay, he has all the links to Rogel Dawn, your Trooper, your Wasp Predator, and so on. Obviously, he'll be sharing them as and when we talk about them. But one question, there will be one here that will be linked shortly. But I would like to ask you this one. This is quite an interesting one because I get asked this a lot about my Space Marine, but I'd like to ask you about your Wasp Predator, which is from Facebook. How hot does it get in your Predator cosplay?
Insane. I mean, we're talking. In the army, we used to wear NBC suits, so nuclear, biological, chemical warfare, charcoal inside lining. You used to sweat in those. Nothing compared to wearing a Predator costume.
A full rubber latex.
There's no breathability at all in a Predator costume. Within minutes of walking around in it, you are, put it this way, sweat's dripping off your eyebrows into your eyes, stinging your eyes, and off your top lip, and you can just drink your own perspiration.
I thought sweating in the Space Marine was bad enough, but wow.
Oh, a different level.
That's
you
next
take the
level.
gloves off, and all the sweat just, from everywhere from your arms will naturally, through gravity, just go down into your gloves. And then you take your gloves off, put one into the other, and you can literally just pour it out. That's how. So you have to take fluids on.
Yeah,
when
of course.
I don't want to get out of it again. I've got an undersuit top, undersuit trousers, which does absorb the sweat, but when there's a long break, I tend to just take off the head, the gloves, and the torso, and that's it. So I'm still in my feet, I'm still in my trousers.
So do you just shove that in the bath and give it a quick wash before you hang it up to dry?
No, well, with the gloves I do, I wash them out and spray inside my head, and then it's. I'm trying if I can show you one. I've got two heads.
So you have two heads. Do you have the one with the removable mask? Do you?
Yeah. So this is one of my custom biomasks. This was actually done by Oaken, who made the Predator costume. And then I got it sent away to Adam Beddoe, who did a custom spray job on it. And then the reason why I've got two heads is this one here is the Wasp Predator full.
There you go.
So I can't really wear a biomask with all the quills.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Flatten them all. So, and you'll notice there's nothing on the top on this, whereas on that one behind me, there's an indentation for the biomass battery for the laser to be put in, and then it's coming down to the front, and then there's two bits of Velcro, and then it won't fall off. But if you're the type of person to suffer from claustrophobia, this is not the costume to wear.
No, absolutely, because that's definitely something like, obviously, especially with rubber, of all things, rubber will just like hug your face.
This one here, can you see that?
So your mask actually comes off separately. Then I got it. That's
And then here you can see the mannequin. I don't know if you can see that, but
we can see the teeth, but that's about. But I like the. There we go.
You see that now?
So that actually does that, you said, goes on with Velcro? You said, was it?
Yeah, and then this is the proper Wasp Predator mask, the one that was in the found film Batman Dead End, which came out many moons ago. It was a fan-made film, and it done remarkably well. So you've got Batman in there fighting with an alien, fighting with Wasp Predator. So Wasp Predator made its debut then. So it's not from a feature film. It didn't make it into a couple of comics. Predator enthusiasts know Wasp Predator. A couple of times I've been walking around and go, "Oh, it's Wasp Predator."
That must feel good.
Yeah, and again, I become the part in any of the costumes I wear. If I've got the patrol trooper on, then hey, how you doing? Move along. American accent comes along, and I've got a voice module and microphone, and yeah.
We
Brilliant.
have a question in the chat for you. Do you prefer cosplaying or photography? Which one would you say you prefer?
Ooh, cosplay. It's got to be.
Yeah, is it far more fun?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you have a laugh. I mean, it's just when me and Gary went down to London Film and Comic Con earlier this year. I think it was this year. Yeah, it was this year, and we went to zombies. The pair of us. I got a finger, believe it or not. I shove it in my mouth, and the finger's hanging out of my mouth. I walk around with that, and you get a laugh. And what we end up doing is we work in team. So as we sort of, Gary will identify somebody, normally someone who's got their back to him, and they're looking at something to buy. Say this, for instance, and they're looking at it, and then he'll come right up behind them. So when they turn to walk away, he's there already. But then I'll be just out of the person's sight, and we do a double whammy.
That's the way. That's the way. You got to go up and be like, "Excuse me, do you have a heart condition?" I know, Harry, if you've got a shot of Dave in his trooper, and also there should be one of his zombie as well. One question I have for you as well is, how many cons have you attended?
Oh, I'd have to bring up my record in the UK garrison. We each have a service record. I go literally to as many as I can. On a guess, I've probably been to about 19, I'd say. Events.
About 19. Is that counting? Is that counting stuff that isn't 601st or
the 501st?
501st. Sorry, the 601st is always on my mind. 601st.
Yeah, they're a good bunch of people.
Oh yeah, 601st. I believe we have some in chat. By the way, we have some of them in chat, so they'll probably be very happy that I said 601st instead of 501st. So yeah, is that just with the 501st, or is that in total altogether?
No, I mean, you've got Leicester Comic Con, Mountain Mowbray Comic Con, the local ones around here.
I've a lot of Rogel Dawn questions here. The reason I'd say there's a lot of Rogel Dawn questions is obviously, my pages tend to be more Warhammer focused, but I will be mixing in your other costumes. Don't worry. But this one's actually quite interesting. Is what is the worst part about wearing Rogel Dawn?
I can't walk down slopes. So the blocks of wood I was talking to you before about is fine when I'm on a flat surface. The front, the toe area is just me. So there's a block of, if that's my foot, there is a block of wood here, and it stops from my toes. And I found that if I'm walking at down a slope, what happens is that the weight of the costume wants to actually push me forward, and because there's no spring or resistance, around the toe cap area, it just wants to throw me. So I've actually got to turn around and walk backwards.
Oh, right. Have you tried sidestepping at all?
No. Again, the feet are like size 32. They're huge, and I haven't tried that. I just find it dead easier. Of course, I've got a spotter with me all the time.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, with the modifications I've done to my boots, I can now walk up and down ramps unassisted now. When I first got the feet sorted and stuff, it was a no-go. I had to sidestep down.
I've tried your boots. The Mark 1s, and they weigh a ton.
Oh, they used to weigh a ton. Since the upgrade, they don't weigh anything anymore. Genuinely, especially with the wellies in them now. When I see you next at a con, you'll have to try them on. See what you think of them, because they are 10 times lighter now. They are 10 times lighter.
We swap helmets again. Well, I haven't got a helmet, but I'll put your helmet on mine.
Oh, I have a silly present for Dove. Downward-facing slopes are the enemy. Yes, they are. Crabwalk. Crabwalk that I do. This next one. Do you know what, actually? I'll ask you the same question, but what is the best part about Rogel Dawn instead of the worst part? What's the best part about wearing Rogel Dawn?
I think John's done such an amazing job. I've had a few people come up to me and say, "Wow, he looks so much better in real."
I feel you're shinier in person
Yeah, I was
than
going to
you
say,
are
I
in
remember
photos.
John saying to me, "I'm going to paint glitter onto it," and I'm like, "You what? Trust me, glitter, gold glitter." And I have to say, in direct sunlight, it looks metallic.
Yeah.
It does look really, really good. And I prefer with the tash on.
Because I've seen. I
When
was
you
going to
see,
say I've seen you with and without your
yeah,
tash.
yeah.
I've seen you with
And
and
the
without.
clean shaven dawn, yeah, I just like the tash. I've got to be careful because I end up talking to so many people and the glue starts peeling away, and then the next thing you know, one part of the moustache is still on, and this one's like.
Oh no! I believe I don't know if you've put the photo up of Dave Sinclair in his Ruggle Dawn, Harry, but if you could pop that one up as well. Right on cue, right on cue. What a legend!
Good on
Right
Aaron.
on cue, right on cue. So, yeah, that's actually something. I'm not even kidding. It's right here. I don't know how well you can see. Obviously, the brightness is probably too much with the
No,
light, but it actually says so dot 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 Rogel Tash. So
yeah.
basically, like, how'd you do it? Where'd you get it? Did you modify it? Did you make it yourself?
20 quid off eBay. It was £10 for the handlebar and it was £10 for the sideburns.
Oh, so they're separate then. So you put them on,
Yeah,
you put those on first and then the tash. So it's not just one piece.
yeah, yeah. And I got to tell you what, if you get it on the tip of your real sideburns with the glue, when it
Oh,
comes I don't know if anyone's ever tried pinching and pulling their own sideburns. Trust me, it friggin'
don't
hurt.
trust me. Look. I know. I have pretty long sideburns now, and it can get painful. It can get painful. That's the one thing I have a downside in my space marine is I need to wear a balaclava. I can't wear. If I wear my helmet without a balaclava, as you've seen in the pictures of the new helmet I've just sorted out,
Yeah. Hang on a
you
second.
just see my beard just poking out the bottom of the helmet, and it's just impossible to do.
Just seeing. Where is he? Where is he?
Waxing. Oh no, thank you.
Oh, I
I would
can't.
never. I would never
It's
wax.
not to handle. It's going to get the moustache.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure. I'm not sure which picture you and I have linked. I don't know which one you linked to me that I've given to Harry. But if Harry wants to, go and have a look.
Hello, Gordon.
Hey, we're getting a host. Thank you so much, Artemis Blackfire, for hosting us. I don't know if you saw that. Did that happen for you? Did it say hello, Gordon? I've been modifying bits and bobs throughout the time I've been streaming because I've got some really funny ones now when people host and share the stream and stuff. So thank you so much for hosting. Really happy. All right, I need to track down a I tell you what, balaclavas. If you're looking for a balaclava, just go to eBay and they're so cheap. Buy the cheapest one you can because even the cheapest one I've had, I've still got. And then my friend Holly bought me another one, so I have two. The reason she bought me another one was because the amount of sweat is beyond, and I have to put the cold sweat one back on. So
Absolutely.
I tell you what. So yeah, Rogel Tash, awesome. I love that. So I'll jump back to a few of my questions. So right. What is your? This is going to be the clincher for you now. This is going to be the clincher. What is your favorite event to attend?
London Film and Comic Con.
London Film and Comic Con, not MCM or Warhammer Fest or anything.
No.
London Film and Comic Con.
No, the reason for it is Gary. I've mentioned him a couple of times. Gary is a regular there, and the security people know him. And Gary smokes. Gary knows where the celebrities go to have a fag, and we get through. So last year, Gary and Becky, his wife, and myself, we were the three people that were out the back with some of the celebrities that were just. And he was either in his Chewbacca costume or in his Predator costume, and it was so cool just to be able to sit down and have a chill, relax, and have a drink. And some of the actors and actresses and celebrities just come over because we're in costume still, and they just start chatting. We don't bother them.
Do you fancy? Do you fancy name dropping anyone? Do you fancy name dropping some people?
Jason Momoa.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Eccleston, nice guy. The guy who plays, can't remember his name now, who plays Lucifer.
Ooh, yeah. I love
He,
Lucifer.
he,
He's
he
so
was,
cool.
I have to say, he was the most decent guy out of them all for time, talking, just really down to earth. Lovely, lovely guy.
I'm sure there's people in the
Um,
chat who are
yeah,
going to be very jealous of some of these names.
it's cool, and it's not too big, and you got downstairs and upstairs, and you can walk around the hall quite quickly, to be honest, because it's not big like Birmingham, for instance. When you walk around Birmingham a
Oh
lap.
yeah, yeah. Birmingham is massive. MCM is massive. The thing is, though, I tell you what I like. I don't really have a favorite event because I do so many. I generally don't have a favorite event. But if there's one event I prefer when it comes to the walking side of things, is probably MCM London because it's all carpeted. And because of the carpet with my suit, because it's so spongy, you can just go for it. Like I just stop, I'm just gone. Like I cannot wait to do MCM again, which was meant to be this year, sadly, but obviously COVID hit and that sort of stopped everything. But it's the way it goes. But
Yeah.
I have got a question which I ask. I've decided that this question here, I've actually highlighted it with a black marker, and I keep adding crosses and stuff next to it, like I'm doing now. I keep adding stuff next to it, and it's in black now, and I highlight it, which is, what is cosplay to you? Like, as a person, what is cosplay to you? Because I've had some people say cosplay is like a way to escape life, the kind of thing. I've had some people say it's an outlet for their weirdness. So, what is cosplay to you?
Um, I loved drama at school, and if I had my life round again, I would have pursued acting. I'm a closet thesp, a closet actor, and putting on a costume, becoming the character, playing it, I get a kick out of that. I get a buzz. I love the camaraderie, as I've already mentioned, and with the UK garrison, I haven't done it yet, but with the patrol trooper, it gives me the ability to go with other Star Wars related characters to hospitals and put smiles on poorly kids' faces. In fact, that's how me and you met.
That's pretty much how you meet. I was going to say that's pretty much how we met, really. If I'm right in saying that is how we met. It is a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is honestly the best feeling in the world when you get to do something like that.
you rallied everybody.
It's primarily the look on their faces when you walk in, and luckily for me, I actually still have actual footage of the day and the look on his face. So that's
Yeah,
the best. I would like to do more. Don't get me wrong. I would love to do more. But me personally, it's incredibly hard. Personally, I mean, I could do it as a Ghostbuster. That'd be fun. Ghostbusters always fun. I don't think I could do it as the Space Marine again because, I mean, I don't think many kids really, I mean, fair play. He knew Warhammer really well, but I don't think a lot of kids his age know Warhammer that well. But he knew Warhammer crazy well. But yeah, that is how you and me met, and you did a great thing. And genuinely, when you were there, and you were just like, nope, I don't want anything. I don't want anything for it. And that especially the distance you had to travel. You drove all the way down in your Rogel Dawn car.
twice. Yeah, twice. So I did the Games Workshop.
You did the Games Workshop for the big event, and then you did the last day as well. That's
No, I mean it. It's one of those things. I think if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't be a millionaire long. I'd be given a lot.
yeah. I don't see it happening for me either. I don't see that. Like if I had, they say if like what would you do if you had £1,000,000? Like, well, I wouldn't have it long. If anything, I wouldn't have it long. Yeah, it's the way it goes, isn't it? But genuinely, that is how things go in the end. It is like the best part of it, if anything, like making people happy, making people smile, making someone's day. That's
Yeah,
basically what you do. That's what cosplay is. But
yeah,
that is a very genuine. I like that was a very genuine answer. Thank you for that. That's why I love that question so much. I really like asking people what is cosplay to you. Another one I'd like to ask you as well is so how do you view yourself as a cosplayer? Like in general, do you view yourself as a higher up, if you will, like in the cosplay community, or would you say you're just a cosplayer just as you go?
Yeah. I mean, I have nowhere near the amount of followers you have. I don't do it for followers. I just do it. I like the photography side of things as well, so I can produce something, and I often do a photo of the day, that type of thing. I get enjoyment from sitting down and doing an edit, putting some music on. It's my calming period of time where I just think, I used to love model making as a kid. So at the end of the model, you painted it, and you can say, I made this. And that's the effect I get with the photography side of things. So I'm probably like any other cosplayer who just looks forward to creating a costume or showing it off, not only for the first time, but for time and time again. And as you go to many events, you start seeing the same people in the same costumes. And I've made many a friend, especially with Rachel and Naomi and Adam from Leicester area. And we just hang out now whenever we meet each other. And I've done photo shoots with them. So it's that element. It's not just a matter of turning up and doing your thing and walking away and packing up and going back home again. There's a lot more to it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's certainly grown since I've done it in 2 years. I think going to some of the events, the younger kids I'm seeing now are dressing up, or they're dressing up, and maybe the parents aren't, but they're both enjoying it, the parents and the young kids.
Seeing their kids having fun, it's a big buzz for them.
And nobody should leave with any negative thoughts. Or, it does bug me. We're humans at the end of the day, and we all come in different shapes and sizes, and tall or short. I'm only 5'8". But some of the larger people tend to be have the Mickey taken out of them. I'm just not into that. They've took time out to make the costume. They are who they are. Why shouldn't they have as much fun as, I wouldn't say regular people, because they're regular people as well. But that does annoy me if anything like that happens.
Good on you. I like that. I completely agree. Genuinely. In terms of like when Harry and I go to an event, for example, I always have time for people. I don't think once I've never not had time for someone. Like I've been like, nope, can't talk. We're busy. Never that. I have occasionally now and again just been like, I got a phone call and it was like, hey, this person's dropped out for the Q&A. They've had to leave because they're ill. I need you on the Q&A stage like now. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So I have to like run over to the Q&A stage, and someone will recognize me who I haven't seen throughout the day, and just like, oh, Derek, hey, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, I've got to go to the Q&A stage. You can come with if you want. Once I finish, I'll talk to you then. That's the only time I've ever had to sort of do anything like that. But when I'm in the suit, if I'm just tromping around a con or whatever, I have time for people. I love chatting to people. It's like my favorite part. The one thing I tell you, it's not like I don't like doing it, but it's one thing that I've had to do a lot of, and that is someone will come up and be like, wow, how'd you build this? And I'm like, do you want to know everything? Because we're going to be here a while. So what I normally do now is I ask Harry to give them my card, and then I'm like, message me on Facebook, and I will give you all the links, the information, the Peppercura links, the links to the files, everything you need to know, and any and all information. And they're like, oh, brilliant. And then I get a message from them, and I'll give them all the info. I've currently got a Space Marine right now who is currently flat out doing his Tech Marine, and he is sending me pictures left, right, and center, and I love it. It's knowing that like I was the start of it, where they're like, I want to build a Space Marine, messaged me and asked me how do you do it, and instead of telling them, oh, it's too complicated, I was like, here's all the information, here are all the links in the files, go out and build a Space Marine. And now boom, he's got a Space Marine. He's built literally 95% of it, I think, right now. It's amazing to see. So funny thing, that question leading on to this question, which is, what advice would you give for someone who's starting off into cosplay? Since obviously you didn't start early, you started much later. How would you tell someone who's starting off to just go for it?
When you say starting off at a young age, you're talking about, or
no? I mean in general. Like, how do you just all of a sudden one day decide you want to start cosplaying? Because obviously you decided one day you were just like, bugger, I'm just going to do Rogal Dawn. Let's go for it. And
yeah, I think probably choose your costume wisely. Have a look around to see if are there 10 million Deadpools.
There's about 10,000,003 Deadpools probably.
Me personally, I'm just not into costumes where there's a lot of them. So
Yeah.
you choose the costume that you're going to want to wear wisely. Have a look how much of it would be made from foam / soft fabric material. I think women can get away with more fabric, and the guys would probably want to go for something more chunkier. And I think there's a lot of material out there now, books that have been written by, fantastic cosplayers, and they can use them as reference tools. And there are lots and lots of videos on YouTube where they can go, well, this is how we make a sphere or a cut. I mean, let me just show you this. I made this.
Oh, is this the
No, I showed you earlier, but
the helmet.
This out of the orc that I'm making for my wife, this actually was, believe it or not, the hardest bit. And Steve Smith, who I'm basing my orc from, said also the same. In fact, he was going to throw his helmet out of the window because it got to him that much. But when you look at that compared to, say, this, and even more so this, you think the helmet would be really, really easy to do, but no.
Believe you me, when it comes to helmets, I've seen people who have made cosplays, like more specifically, I've seen people who've made Space Marines who have done the most amazing work on like the boots, the chest, the shins, the codpiece, the thighs, the arms. They just do amazing work. And then it comes to doing the helmet, and they just struggle. They just hit a brick wall and struggle. Because I know for a while I struggled with the files for the standard Space Marine helmet. I struggled for a while with them until my friend Dave Damon was like, oh God, no, don't use that file, use this file. And what it was is the same file, but he had simplified it. He had made bigger pieces and made it more easy to put together. And because of those bigger pieces, you've got less little fiddly bits to work on, so you can just put it all together. And that's how I was able to start making helmets. Well, when you got the helmet that I've got there, my bulldozer helmet, that's even simpler yet, but the only sort of hard part with that helmet is more the dome. So the dome is the hardest part. Hey, Live Action Chair is here from Live Action Pixel. Hello, how are you doing? If Artemis Blackfire has said something rather upsetting, she says she has been told she shouldn't be cosplaying. That is nothing anyone should ever say to anybody, even in anger. So don't you worry. Basically, what you need to do is tell them to go do one and carry on, because there are people who love you to bits and think that you're absolutely awesome, like myself, with your giant wings and your honest to God, your giant wings and boob remote are probably the best thing you'll ever see. They're the coolest. Like she reaches into her boobs and moves her hand out, and all of a sudden her wings start going, and it's like, okay, it's the best thing. It's the best thing. Oh no, the bit on the sword of the printer just failed. I tell you what, that's something I couldn't get behind, was 3D printing. I bought a 3D printer, don't get me wrong. I bought a CR10, and I printed 2 or 3 things on it and just couldn't get it. I just couldn't do it. I sold the printer then to my friend Andrew, Nocturne's Forge, who then decided to be such the nicest person. And he'd come over to help me try to fix it, and we got it working, and I printed some things. But not a lot, but he printed some things for me, and we got it working, like purity seals and stuff. But he was so nice about it. When I was like, screw it, I can't do it, he offered me exactly the full price of what I paid for the printer as, can I buy the printer off you? I'm like, yeah, how much do you want to pay for it? And he was like, he said, how much did you pay for it? And I was like, this much without postage. And he was like, there you go, that. And even better yet, I took it to him. I drove it to Wolverhampton to him, because it was so nice of him to just be like, have exactly what you paid. And luckily with that money then, I was able to add, I think, an extra 50 or 60 quid to that, and I was able to buy my laser cutter. And without that, I wouldn't be able to do half the
laser
stuff.
cutter is cool.
The laser cutter is probably the best investment I've ever... Yeah, the laser cutter is the best thing I've invested in as for cosplay making tools and stuff. But yeah, and Andrew's such a nice guy. He knows so much about cosplay and stuff. To tell you what I like about Andrew is he will help you with scaling. Because I had, back in the beginning, I had so many problems with how big do you make this? How big do you make this? How the scale-wise for something. And thanks to him, I'm now able to do everything and anything to the right scale to my suit. so it all looks in proportion, which is what you need really. Because I've seen people with chainswords, like for example, my rubber latex one that I bought because I didn't make myself one. It's a human scale one. So when my Space Marine holds it, it does look a bit thin and stumpy compared. But I had it for years, and the reason I had it for years is because I loved it, and I bought it, and I absolutely loved it. Now, obviously, I've got my bigger one. I've got my, since we're showing each other props stuff, I've got my new one. That's my.
Yeah, it's well cool.
That's far more to scale for my Iron Warrior now. So that's gonna be hopefully Warhammer Fest next year when Warhammer Fest kicks back off.
Really?
So. Another question this is from Facebook. Do you have any other 40k costumes, or are you planning on making any other 40k costumes from Warhammer? I know you said about Rowboat Girly Man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at Rogue Dawn now, and he's very complicated. I don't think I'm at that level. And the Orc costume, I mean, the only thing I've made prior to the Orc, foam-wise, was this, which is a Wonder Woman shield.
That's Wonder Woman shield. I'm telling you what though, right? Shields, they're not the easiest things to make, and that's a pretty decent shield. Like, you know, the fact that that's the first thing you made, like, genuinely hats off to you. But your Orc stuff is absolutely beyond. It's crazy. Obviously, that's a World of Warcraft Orc, isn't it? Or is it?
World of Warcraft. Yeah, I've done it literally. I mean, there's no files for it from Steve. He's got a web page where there's a walkthrough of what he did, but there's no templates to print off.
So you're copying it just from the screen then?
I've done it from the screen. Yeah, I've measured it, measured that. I went, right, okay, it's got to be this. But as you know, because we know this already, because we've spoken, once this is completed, I will be starting on a Warhammer Orc.
That's going to be. That's going to be amazing. Luckily, with Warhammer, Orc Warhammer stuff, obviously I don't know enough about World of Warcraft Orcs, but with Warhammer related Orc stuff, you can literally take pieces of foam. You could use a blunt and dull knife. You could use whatever you want. You could use a hacksaw, whatever the hell you want, really, and just slap it on with hot glue and just glue it on and just paint it. And it'll just, because orcs they're nowhere near clean. As long as the structure holds fine and you can actually wear it. But as for seam lines and quality and stuff, you don't need it. It just doesn't matter. There you go. Look at that. That is just, see, and that's just hot glue and spikes and foam and
polished iron ball.
That's what you need. That is so good.
Polished iron cones, and then I've heated them up. To the point where they've started melting.
That's what you need. That's what you need to get that texture, boy.
And and for transportation purposes, that'll end up going into the end of my right arm, or Cameron's right arm, and that sticks into the end of it, and it just hangs. So it's not going to be bashed or anything. What was I going to show? Yeah. So the only other thing I've done foam-wise, which I'm working on, is a Gears of War at the moment. So this is my Gears of War.
Whoa. That's the boot is very John Travolta sort of, you know, when he's dancing in the movie. It's like, I love the platform. That is such a cool platform.
This is quite large considering.
I'm not gonna lie. You holding it, that looks huge. Like
that's what it.
Wow. Yeah. No. That is a fair chunk of boot. That is. How much taller does that make you now then? You're 5 foot, what you said?
5'8" I am.
So what does that boot make you? 6 foot something?
That goes up about 4 inches.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, it's nice to see you jumping into foam smithing and stuff, because it's genuinely really nice to see. Like some of the stuff I've seen you come out with, especially from the Orc side of things, I've just looked at them like, God, he's come a long way. It's awesome. It's really nice to see. Like, I love it.
I can't wait to start on the Warhammer.
Oh,
Orc.
dude, the Warhammer Orc is going to be. I'm actually really excited to see that. But what I was going to ask you is, I've got another question here. This one relates to you quite well, actually, because I want to know what your thoughts are now that you're making your own stuff. Would you prefer to buy something or make something now that you've started actually making stuff with your Orc, for example, and your Gears of War costume?
From now onwards, definitely making.
Oh, awesome.
There's no way, of course, I could have made the patrol trooper. That came from
Oh
Russia.
no, God, no,
I
no, no,
can't make the zombie.
no! I
The
couldn't have made
zombie was
either of
amazing.
those.
I can't make any of those. It has to be from now. To be honest, I don't want to buy any more costumes. I want to make them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've spent a small fortune.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna buy now, probably. Yeah, especially with your Rogel Dawn and your Wasp Predator. Yeah, I've probably spent a small fortune by now.
The
Like,
Predator's the most expensive one, so that came to about 2,700 for everything.
oh, wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow! That is a
yeah,
chunky amount of money.
probably about late actually.
Wow, that is
Yeah,
a
you could buy a
lot.
car for that.
Wow, I think
The
you
patrol
could
trooper
build
was about 1,600.
on my. I think just off the top of my head, I think you could build 3 Space Marines for that. Oof. Okay. Everything to me, I measure in how many Space Marines. So if like, how much you pay for your car? 10 grand. Ooh, that's like 40 Space Marines. Like, it depends how cheaply you want to be able to make a Space Marine, I guess. Right. So we have another question from Instagram.
Oh, really?
Which do you think is best, Rogel Dawn? Iron within or iron without? I've had a lot of funny questions. I tell you what. If
For
you
the Emperor.
for the no, God, no one in chat say that. Here's another question. Do you ever think of joining Chaos? So I think I'll ask that in more of, would you ever do a Chaos cosplay?
Well, you mentioned before that we don't see any Puerto is that the correct way to say it?
Perturabo, yeah. Perturabo is the Primarch of the Iron
Wouldn't
Warriors.
it be good to see one of them walking around?
If you made Perturabo, you have no idea how much input I would want. I would just be like, right, do this and this. You need to. I would. He's my favorite Primarch. He's so amazing. I think he's the coolest. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love to do a full size Perturabo, but he's massive. Like, he is colossal. Like, he's so
that
big.
gets picked up, and the tip of my eagle on Rogel Dawn hits about 7.5 feet.
I don't
stood
know
beside
how
you
tall.
and James, for instance. Technically speaking, I should be even taller than you, but
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you go into the scale and everything of like 40k and how tall people are and whatever, yeah, fair enough. I get what you mean. People should be taller and stuff. I mean, I'm not very tall for a Space Marine, really. You're not very tall for a Stormtrooper. Aren't you a bit short for a Stormtrooper? But no, I'm technically not very tall for a Space Marine. You're right. I should be a bit taller, but it's the way I've scaled it. Like, I used to have stilts, and then I had shorter platforms. I'm actually taller than I was previously, but I'm still technically a bit shorter. But what I like the most about suffering a little bit with the fact I'm a bit shorter than other Space Marines is the fact that I've got that movement.
yeah.
Like, I've got stupid amounts of movement, which I know a bunch of Space Marines, like, I know a lot of people don't have that much movement. But then when I see them walking along and the height they get and the amount of people who are like, oh, God, Jesus Christ, when they see them, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've scared a few people, but when you see David Roth walking through a con, he scares everyone. Like, there's no doubt in my mind ever. I've been his spotter so many times, and I've had people scream as we're walking past, like, Jesus Christ, see him walking by. So, and I'd love that kind of reaction, but then I'd have to be much taller, because I'm 6'2" now, and I'm touching 7 foot in the Space Marine, so it's not too bad. But I'd love to be a bit taller. If I could be 8 foot. I think that'd be really nice. But, we'll see what happens. So, here's the last question from Instagram, but I've got a few more questions to ask you after. Harry's going to get ready with one of the last links now, I think, which is, Bush. Talk to us about that. Bush.
Again, my mate Gary got me into that because he's got a Bush costume.
What the hell? Why?
It was 40 quid. You'll never have so much fun. You just literally go around, sit on a big flower pot. People just don't even realise, you're there. It's something that's in the background, and all of a sudden you go, oh yeah.
The picture that Harry has just linked is Dave as a Bush.
As a Bush. 40 quid.
It's the funniest thing. It's such a funny picture. And when you posted that originally, I was like, what am I looking at? And then you were like, it's a bush. You're a bush. But the fact is, the way the question was asked on Insta was so, comma, ... Bush, question mark. And I'm just like, what are your thoughts on Bush? And I think there's many an answer you could give depending on how you take that question. But no, you know what I meant. It's I love it. It was Bush so ... Bush question mark. That's interesting. What's up with that? That's the question I got from someone, which made me
The only thing you've got to be
absolutely
careful, of course, is I've got it and I've worn it around here. You know, on Thursday nights when the NHS was being clapped, I used to go out in each costume each week, randomise it all.
I saw that. That was absolutely awesome of you. And you have a little fan, don't you? You have a little fan on your street, don't you?
Anthony, 6 just across the road. Yeah, I mean, he used to dress up because I was dressing up, and then
Good.
he made me little things, little cards and stuff, and we've become really good friends with him now.
You see, that's the thing. You've now sort of you've given
I've had an
him
impact on him.
in a way, you've given him the cosplay bug. You know, he's seen someone in cosplay, see how awesome it is. He really likes it. Clearly, he likes it. The amount of pictures I've seen of you and him just chilling out. So it's like he's going to get into that now. At least I hope he gets into it, because the more we get the younger generation into it, the better, because that means more cosplays. When I see kids in cosplay, I try to go over to them and I try to tell them, like, well done, that is really good. Try to give them as much positivity as possible, because the more positivity you give them, the more they're going to want to do it. Whereas you see now, obviously, when you get older, you get a lot of people online mostly. I haven't really had anyone say anything negative to me in person. But I have had a lot of online stuff. Like, you know, you yourself, everyone I think in chat can probably, at some point say, yeah, I've had some crap from someone online because they said this, or, you know, they said, oh, this, that, and the other is wrong with your suit or cosplay, or whatever you're doing. They'll say something negative about it. But then when you see them in person, they just tend to be like, hey, you okay?
Yeah.
Like, there's no keyboard and internet between us now. So we've actually reached quite an hour so far, so that's good. I've got 4 more questions for you here.
All right.
So what is the most favourite prop that you've made? Now I know you haven't made a lot of props. I know you made the shield and you've made the helmet stuff, but which one would you say is your favourite prop that you've made so far?
Easy, this one. Just move a few things out of the way.
Yeah, take your time.
So this is the right arm.
Oh, hell yeah. You showed me this the other night.
Of the orc. So this is where the mace plunger fits onto the end. I'll just show you.
Yeah,
so,
go on. Give us a...
dance,
monkey, dance.
There it is. So...
I love that. Look at the fingers on the giant hand. That's so cool. That is really cool.
It's going to be quite cool. So I've still got to make the costume for Karen for the orc costume.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You know, we're going to sit down and plan that, and then she's going to do some sewing. But this is probably the best one I've made. You know, that I like that I've made so far. This is the shield for it.
Ah, yeah, look at that. I'm not gonna lie, you're really good at orc stuff, because that looks incredibly orky, like in the best way.
This is what the arm looks like before I start putting anything on it.
You got a little frame for it. I like that. The frame design sort of gives it a bit of strength on the inside.
That's the same with the boot. And this is what the orc itself looks like.
There you go. I know that's your orc as well, isn't it? I know we have there's a picture of that, Harry. If you pop the link of that one up, there's I do like your orc. Your orc one is very, very cool.
Yeah, I bought this. This is stainless steel.
Oh wow!
It's proper metal, and looks great. But the favourite costume to wear out of them all, believe it or not, for comfiness, is zombie. So I've done 8 hours straight in zombie with my zombie mask, all my clothes, haven't took anything off.
See, I thought it would have been your trooper, if I'm honest. I thought it would have been your trooper.
No, he's got fans inside. I mean, it's without the fans, the inside of the green visor mists up. And of course, all the heat that is generated by, I have to wear a balaclava.
Yeah, balaclava.
Doesn't really go anywhere, so you just get to a hot level and then you have to suffer it. Yeah.
What sort of distance would you say you've travelled altogether for these conventions? Would you say it's in a couple of 1,000 miles altogether if you added it all up, or would you say it's less?
I've done Manchester once. I've done Birmingham several times, 3 times at least. London Comic Con I've done 3 times. Film and Comic Con I've done twice. So they're the biggies. Bristol. Twice.
Yeah, Bristol.
And then sort of the local area. I don't know how many miles that would all amount to. And certainly this year I would have done. Well, come next year, and of course, hopefully, when it's all up and running again.
Well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, what's really funny is at the beginning of the convention season last year, I wrote down my mileage on my van before starting properly and going to conventions, before the first con that me and Harry did last year. And then when the convention season sort of ended and I realized there weren't going to be any more, I sort of, I did use the van a few times before traveling around local area and stuff. But I did write down the final mileage, and the total mileage me and Harry covered last year was about 2,700 and something.
Ooh.
And that is just like when I realized how many miles it is. The thing is, I change the oil in my van every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. I change the oil in my van because it's an older van. It's a very old van. So I change the oil in it as regularly as I can. And not only do I change the oil in it regularly, but I get it serviced almost once a month, depending on how many cons I do in a month. I've done... I did 4 cons in a month, 1 every weekend, and they were all in England. They were all really far. So I had to make sure I had the van serviced, at the end of the month. And then the following month, then I did another 4. So I had to make sure that it was serviced again. So, yeah, the costs, does work out. But luckily, obviously, I do these events and stuff, and I can cover those costs, which is great. But I don't think I could otherwise because the amount of traveling I have to do. Because obviously you've got I call it the Rogel Dawn car because it matches the color of Rogel Dawn.
No, it's gone.
I know. I remember you saying. It was very sad to hear because you loved that car, didn't you?
I loved that car. Absolutely. I picked it up for 4K, and it was a beautiful Mercedes E320 estate. I could get all my camera gear in it, blacked out windows. And it looked the part.
For those of you who don't know, the reason I called it the Rogel car is it was as gold as his Rogel Dawn. I swear to you, it sparkled.
It's yellow. It's a BMW colour. Yeah, but it was a wrap. I got the car wrapped, and I just loved that colour.
Oh, it was so nice. It was nice. You could tell that you were at an event. As soon as you pull into a car park, it'd be like, black car, grey car, red car, black car, gold car, black car, grey car. Like van, gold estate, van. I loved your car. I thought your car was awesome. Your car was brilliant. So, last question for you then, and I'm going to pick a really good one. I haven't asked you all of them because some of them wouldn't really work. That's why I've got 20 of them. So I make sure I ask the most relevant ones. But I would say, yeah, here you go. So, what is the funniest cosplay you've got? What would you say your funniest? Would you say it's your zombie because of the amount of laughs you get?
Yeah, definitely the zombie.
It's the zombie because me personally, I think the funniest one is the bush. I can't get enough of the bush. It's just the funniest thing.
Gary says that he gets a good reaction each time. Come next year, we'll both be pushed out together. So I haven't had a reaction yet. My other concern is that you could shock someone to the point where they just accidentally lash out.
I'm genuinely, I've seen it happen where someone in a bush on a potted plant in the middle of a street, and they just go, "Hey," and the guy just goes bang and just lays him out, and it's just like. But I guess that's a risk you take.
That's why I'm going to target women.
So there you go, everyone. We've got it on footage now. So if the police report comes in, we've got it on footage. He's only going to target women.
Well, I'm not going to get punched by a woman.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess. But Right, can I just say, genuinely, a huge thank you for you jumping on this Q&A session. Like, genuinely, it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of laughs, and it's nice. The more I do this, the more comfortable I get doing it, and I feel it's more chilled out. Luckily now, I've got 4 more people already booked, ready to go.
Yeah,
I'll be doing every Tuesday and Wednesday for this month, and obviously August as well. I've got some people lined up for August. And then I'm hoping between there. I say I'm doing every Tuesday and Wednesday, but if between there, if I suddenly have something I need to build or do something, then I would probably love to stream it just to have a chat with people. But as of right now, I'm sticking to Q&A stuff because I don't really have anything to build. I know I did the helmet, but that was more of a trial and error and sort of guessing and looking at a picture I saw of an angled version of it and stuff. I didn't really have files for it. So, but we'll see what happens. But if everyone sticks around for that, that'd be awesome. But I would like to say a huge thank you to Dave Sinclair. Where can we find you? Where can we find you?
Facebook is probably the best place. I have Instagram accounts. I don't keep it up to date, to be honest, or Pinterest. So Facebook, it's Dave Sinclair Cosplayer.
Awesome. I think, Harry, if you could link Dave's pages, and also if you could link the final image, which is one image of all your cosplays together. You've edited a really beautiful image of all your cosplays together in one image that you sent me. That was an absolutely beautiful image.
Any final question from the floor?
Yeah, has anyone in chat got a question for Dave Sinclair Cosplayer? I keep almost going Dave Sinclair Rogel Dawn Cosplayer because that's how I knew you for the longest time. That's how I knew you.
For my costumes, I had a dedicated fan page, and when I got another costume, I just thought, you know what, let's combine the whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, because
I still get notifications for people still joining pretty much on a daily basis. The Wasp Predator or Rogue Dawn page, and I'm like, or the Patrol Trooper, and I'm like, I've got it pinned at the top of the page. This is no longer.
Yeah, I got you. But it depends. People like to see the pictures that are already there or something. It depends. But that's quite funny, actually. That's something I get a lot on my page that I've been asked is like, your page is Iron Warrior Cosplay, but yet you've got a Ghostbuster on there, a Steampunk on there, you want to do a Totoro, you want to do a Mechanicus cosplay, you're doing a Krieg, and I'm like, well, yeah, but I'd say my main cosplay is the Iron Warrior. So it'll go like Iron Warrior, hence the page is Iron Warrior Cosplay. That's where people can find me if they want to see the Iron Warrior. But then I've got sort of offs of all the other cosplays, but they're all going to be on the same page because it's easier to find everything I find on just the one page. But I have had someone say, you should name it something else and just have all your cosplays on there. But everything is Iron Warrior Cosplay. Every page, everything I've got is, you can find me at the same thing, except for Twitter, which is Iron Warriors IV, because Iron Warrior Cosplay was already taken for some reason. It's an empty page, and I would like to have that page because I want it to just be Iron Warrior Cosplay. But hey ho, it's the way it goes. But genuinely, if there's any questions, please let us know. But other than that, I want to just say a huge thank you again to you, Dave, for coming on. And I'm sure next year we'll probably bump into each other, hopefully with you as Rogel Dawn, if you haven't retired him. I know at one point you said you might retire Rogel Dawn, which is a bit of a bummer, but I hope you don't. I hope Rogel Dawn stays with us at Warhammer Fest. I think that'd be really cool.
I think that will be the only event he'll attend.
Well, I really hope we see you again, because
he's a pain in the arse to transport around. I mean, there's 20 pieces of him, and it's a nightmare to get. When I've got no help with me, for instance, to get him out of the car, bit by bit, going backwards and forwards, and no.
Well, lucky thing is you'll be lucky at Warhammer Fest, because what happens is we all show up and then we all start helping each other, which is we all do one car at a time, which I find absolutely awesome. It's as you said, it's the camaraderie. That's what I love about the Warhammer community, especially the Warhammer community we're a part of. Our little group. It's quite a big group now. The Adeptus Habitus.
But you know what's nice is that the fact that the Warhammer Games Workshop staff invite us and like us to be there, which wasn't always the case years ago, was it?
No, it wasn't. But to have them, especially, do you know the one I like the most is when they've got an open day in Nottingham at Forge World. They're just like, come along. That picture of me and Dan Abnett blew the hell up on my cosplay page. It was amazing. I loved it. And then literally, I think was 2 days after Dan added me as a friend on Facebook, and I was like, I was like, what the fuck? He actually posted a video. I think it was either a video or a post. I think it was a post actually, not a video. He actually had to say he's made another page, another Facebook page, because that one was full. He reached the maximum amount of friends that he can have on that page. No one else can add it. So he's made a secondary one now, which is like Dan underscore something. But it's crazy. I love the amount of people who just love him so much they want to add him on Facebook. But he's posting all the time on there. And it's crazy. But there's me going and name dropping again. Better not name drop people.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do then. If there's no questions, one final thing is I'll turn the lights to Rogel Dawn, and we'll
go ahead.
Rogel Dawn.
Yeah, go for a Rogel Dawn, and I will end the stream next. So just genuinely want to say thank you to everyone who has come to the stream. Again, a big thank you to Dave Sinclair, because obviously he took the time out from his day to do this. We've been going about an hour and a half or something like that, so that's absolutely awesome. So thank you again. Big thank you to you again, and we'll see you soon.
All right, I shall show Rogel Dawn.
Point at Rogel Dawn, and then we'll go from there. There you go. Have a good shot of Rogel Dawn. Look at that. There he is, the man himself. See, he's about. He's just chilling out in somebody's office. But there you go. Thank you so much, Dave, and we'll chat again soon.